back to my channel. Novice here. So ignore my appearance. It's been a stressful week, okay? So this is finals week. We are finally here. As I told you guys, I received my offer letter last week for a hospital as a patient care tech or a medical assistant. Technically, I'm a patient care tech. The difference between the two is that a patient care tech deals more so with like hands-on patients, more like under a nurse. Like I would be doing vital signs, phlebotomy, EKG, like all the stuff that I learned when I was in school, but more so under directly like a nurse in a hospital, if that makes sense. While a medical assistant does a lot of things under a nurse too, but more so in like a doctor's office, and they also are in conjunction with administrative duties. I'm not going to be doing any administrative duties. The only administrative duties I'll be doing is charting. So that is my job, and I start on Monday. Today is Friday, so I start in like 3 days, so I'm like super excited. So with that, I have orientation on Monday. It's like hospital-wide orientation. They do like a cluster, so like with how they do it is the reason why I had like an interview day is because they interviewed like a whole bunch of people from many different like divisions and many different job titles. They interview everybody at once, I guess, to like minimize their resources, and then they all decide on, you know, come back for second interviews for which department they place you in, and then they have you come in for the following month for like the career day. So I like made it into December's career like orientation day. So the hospital the hospital-wide orientation is on Monday. It is 8 hours long. So it starts at 8 o'clock in the morning and it ends at 4:30. So I'm gonna get to this, but I have an exam on Monday at 5. So yeah, I'm gonna talk about that in a minute. So yeah, so anyway, so Tuesday I have another orientation, patient care services orientation. So more so like more down into my specific area of orientation that I'll be having. It will be my orientation for my division, or like what kind of like field that I'm in or job title I'm in. And then Wednesday I'll have another orientation, learn more I guess about the hospital and like things like that. So there's basically 3 days of orientation, and Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I guess I'll make my schedule. I'll also be getting my picture taken. So yeah, I will be doing my hair. I will be doing my hair and you know, get myself together. But they told me I have to wear like business casual, so I'm assuming that just means, you know, like, you know, a nice shirt, nice pants, nice shoes, no sneakers, no jeans, no hoodies, stuff like that. So I don't have to like wear my scrubs or anything yet. But yeah, and I'll be getting my scrubs with my hospital logo on it. Obviously I'll be getting my tags and my ID card and like little thing that goes here and all that. So yeah, I'm preparing for that for my job. So I bought like a little notepad. I don't have it with me, but it's like a little notepad that like rings around, like you just flip it, like just because I know I'm gonna be learning a lot very quickly, and certain things I'm gonna need to write down just so I can make sure I remember it. So I have that to like slip in my little scrubs pocket, and a pencil. So okay, there's just so much to say. I feel like I'm an artsy kind of girl. Again, I've come from a graphic designer background, so I'm used to looking artsy and fartsy. I mean, I don't look too much like it on camera because most of the time I'm just at home chilling, studying. So, but when I go out and do things or go to work, I usually like to make myself look very presentable. And I love dark lipsticks. I love dark browns. I like reds. I like dark reds. I look really good with dark lipstick. However, I am not sure, and you guys let me know, because I don't know, but I feel like a red lip is too much for the healthcare field. Is it? I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't want someone to say, oh, you can't wear that, or oh, like, you know what I mean? So I have opted to start wearing like a brown lip liner and lip gloss, or like nudes or whatever. Not my favorite, but I can get away with brown liner and a lip gloss. That's kind of cute in right now. So I'll be wearing my lipsticks like that for work, because otherwise I look like a little ass kid. Clearly, like, I look very young if I don't have myself together. And I feel like dark lips and red lipsticks make me look more sophisticated or older, or like, you know, sophisticated or classy, whatever. But apparently it's not acceptable in the healthcare field, especially in hospitals, because it can offend people from what I've been reading. I don't know. You guys tell me, you nurses, you patient techs, you medical assistants out there, let me know if that's inappropriate or not. I don't know. So anyway, so it's that, and that's okay. But back up to this week, because this week has been kind of hectic. So on Monday, studying for my anatomy and physiology exam, right? Because it's on Tuesday. No, sorry, it's on Thursday. And I usually like to study it at the beginning of the week so I can like build up to Thursday, because it's a lot of, as you guys know, anatomy and physiology is a lot of information. It's on muscles, by the way. So it's a lot of information. And I'm typing away. I'm about halfway done my study guide or whatever, and then all of a sudden my keyboard acts like it doesn't want to type anymore, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? So I'm like, whatever, I had to go to nutrition because I had a class at 5 and it was like 4:50 and I had to go. So I was like, let me just like shut this down. By the time I reopen it, it'll fix itself, because usually that happens with computers. So I go to nutrition, and in nutrition you have to like look at the slides, because she's going over the PowerPoints on the board while we kind of go through it with her, right? So I went to open up my computer, log in, and I can't log in because my keyboard's not working. So I literally spent all class trying to log in because I could not log in. I had to log in as a user, and that's because I didn't need a password for it. And I kept playing around with the buttons to try to figure out what button is stuck, because when you have a Mac, there's like something called a command button. And I know, just dealing with Macs for a very long time, that when you press like Command N, a new page opens. When you press Command F, the Finder key comes up. When you press Command Z, you know, whatever. So I know it goes backwards, whatever. So I know that with command, there's certain things that happen, right? There's certain commands that happen. So I'm pressing buttons or whatever, and every time I press a letter or something, a command comes up instead of the actual letter. So it's letting me know that my command key is stuck. So I'm pressing at it over and over again, trying to like undo it. It's not working. I'm like, what the heck? So calling AppleCare, the lady on the phone acts like she has no idea how to deal with computers. She sounds like an older woman who had no idea how to deal with computers. Okay, let me say that. And so I was getting irritated because I was just like, you have no idea. But I was trying to be patient with her because she was trying to do her job and she was being nice. Long story short, she told me it was a hardware issue. Makes an appointment for me to go to the Apple store. So I make an appointment that day to go to the Apple store. It's 7:45 at night. I go into the Apple store. I'm pissed because I have exams all week. I'm stressing about my stats exam, which is the next day. Stressing about my anatomy exam because I have to still do the study guide and study a bunch of questions. I have to memorize 2 essays. Like, I'm like really stressed out, okay? My computer, it's not the time for my computer to not work, okay? So I'm sitting there like waiting for AppleCare to get, to acknowledge me. There's a guy sitting here next to me, and you know how like you can tell when someone's trying, like you have their attention, and you're just kind of like, oh, please don't talk to me. I am not in the mood. Like, even if I was in the mood, just don't talk to me, please. I don't, please. And so I'm talking to AppleCare. So the AppleCare guy comes around. He starts talking to me. Or whatever, and he tells me basically, long story short, I have to leave my Mac overnight. Fine. So I'm giving him he's looking at my email address, and my natural hair channel's email address is HairByPierre@yahoo.com. I have that under my Mac for some reason. I usually use a different email address, but I have it for that for some reason. So he's like, oh, do you do hair? My hair was a hot mess. Like, my hair was literally in these twists, but this front half was not finished because I was like running out the house to try to get things done. So this part of my hair was like loose in a bun while the rest were in twists. Like, I literally looked crazy. I usually never go out the house with my hair looking crazy, but it looked crazy. And I looked at him like, he said, oh, do you do hair? And I was just so embarrassed because my hair looked so crazy. And I was like, I mean, kind of, yeah. I didn't really want to talk too much about it because I knew it looked crazy. And I just felt like my hair wasn't a good representation of what I do at the time. And I just like didn't want to talk about it. So I was just like, oh, yeah. And then I was like, really, I'm a graphic designer. But he's like, oh, okay. What are you at? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to nursing school. I'm like, can we just hurry this up or whatever? So the guy who's like in the corner, like, I guess was eavesdropping. And he says to the guy, oh, could I talk to you for a second? And I guess the guy who was helping me thought he meant him. He's like, yeah. He's like, no, her. He's like, oh, her? Oh, excuse me, he's talking to you. I was like, he was like, oh, you're a graphic designer? Do you have a business card? And I was like, and he looked like one of those kind of guys, those like guys that, I hate to say it, but you just tell he thought that he was going somewhere. He just looked like the kind of guy that thought, you know, it's maybe used to getting girls. I don't know, whatever. I was just like, yeah, I do graphic. I don't have a, I was like, no, I actually don't have a card on me. I actually did have a business card on me. I just didn't want to give it to him because I'm like, leave me alone. I'm not in the mood. I'm just not in the mood. And he's like, oh, well then here, I'm gonna give you mine. I was like, oh, okay. So I take it and it's like a business card of his naked body. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, not naked, but he had no shirt on. He's like super oiled up, super muscular. Like, oh yeah, like I need a logo. Like, I don't have a logo. Can you, like, I need a designer for my logo. And I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, cool. You're a model, that's what's up. Okay, cool, anyway. And I just didn't know it. I just knew I was like being super awkward because I just did not want to talk to him. And I was like, okay, cool, I'll look into it or whatever. He's like, okay. Obviously, I never called him in. But, and obviously, I mean, he may have needed a logo. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But anyway, point is, I was not in the mood to talk. Anyway, that was like a side story. I leave. I'm at a computer. I feel like I don't have an arm. And I luckily I studied for the day. I did my adequate studying for the day. Like I said, I finished half my study guide, which that's pretty good. So I was like, okay. But I was just stressed out. And luckily the next day my exam was statistics, which you don't need a computer for. So I didn't need my computer the next day, thank goodness. So it worked out. So I went to my exam. Oh, in the morning they called me and said, your issue is still happening. So basically you're gonna have to buy a keyboard from Best Buy and with a USB to plug into your computer. Man, this computer keyboard is humongous. Like, it's huge. It looks crazy. I feel like I'm stuck in 1999 or something. Like, it's this gigantic keyboard that I have to hook up to my Mac and then use the keyboard to use my computer. But look, at least I didn't lose all my files, right? Right. I go to my stats exam the next day. Y'all, the study guide he gave us, like, why? There was nothing on it. There was like 5% of the study guide on that exam, okay? I was like sitting there like, really? And it's crazy because I've had an A majority of the semester in stats. It's only been in the last few weeks that I've been really not struggling, but just kind of like stats was getting a lot harder for me. And it was annoying because a lot of people in the class, because I started off strong, I guess, thought I was like the smartest person in the class, would always ask me for help. And I'm like, y'all, I am not good at math, y'all. I am just reading the book. That's how I'm understanding anything. And as it continued to get more mathematical, it got harder for me because I'm not a mathematical person. So I was the last person, but there was 2 people left in the classroom at the end of the exam. It was a 2 hours and 20-minute exam. It was 44 questions, and I finished at the last 10 minutes. And me and this other kid who used to always ask me for help were the last 2 in the classroom. Yeah, I don't know what I got, and he hasn't posted the grades yet, and I'm like stressing because I have no idea what I got. We'll see. But anyway, then I had Tuesday and Wednesday to continue to study for my anatomy physiology exam, which I did. And then on Thursday came, I took my anatomy physiology exam. I studied my ass off. I memorized those essays to the T. The essays were fine, easy, okay, I memorized them. But the exam was good for about half of it, and I got to the other half and I was like, wait a second. We didn't talk about this stuff. Well, we did, but like it was more in depth. Like, okay, for example, in anatomy, we have like, what is it, like lever systems or whatever, like the fulcrum, the load, like when it comes to muscle. And I understand first class, second class, third class, like, you know, lever systems. I understand them, but I don't understand them when they're like used on the body, because the examples that were given in the book were like wheelbarrow, your arm, and maybe like a seesaw, right? But he put it in retrospect of the body, and I was like, wait, trying to like, you know, that lady with the math all over her head, that's what I was like. I was like, wait, what? He hasn't posted the grades yet, but we'll see how that is too. I'll probably have grades by next week. And then, like I said, Monday, I have an exam on nutrition. First of all, like I said, nutrition's at 5. My orientation ends at 4:30. So my email that I got from my job, okay, following your new employee orientation, your orientation will continue in your department. So I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means like the orientation for the next day, because there's 3 days of orientation, or if that means like right after this particular orientation from 8 to 4:30, there's more orientation after that, like that day. I don't know. So I called them this morning, no one answered, so I couldn't confirm, and so I was like, what the hell? So I told my nutrition teacher about this. She's like, oh, thanks for letting me know. She's like, well, if you're like up to 30 minutes late, it's fine, but anything after that, we can like reschedule before that. Mind you, it's Friday morning I'm reading this. She emails me this at on Thursday night, and I'm like, so luckily it was Friday morning, so I said, okay, first of all, I hadn't studied at all. I hadn't even looked at the study guide, and I haven't read anything. So I was like, let me look at the study guide to see if I can take it sooner, like if I can study it, like if I could cram it. If I feel like I can cram it, then I will. If I can't, then like I'll just try to wing it for Monday. So look at the study guide, I'm like, oh, like this is stuff I feel like I can memorize if I literally study all freaking day. Okay, fine. So I email her and I say, hey, like I can take the exam tomorrow, Saturday, because the test center is open from 9 a.m. to 3 o'clock. So I'm thinking she's gonna email back. She usually is pretty prompt with her emails. So I'm thinking she's gonna email me back in like 2 hours. No, she never emails me back. So I have spent, this is today, I have spent literally all day studying for this exam. Literally 5 chapters worth of information, like 8 questions per chapter, or some of them 12 questions per chapter. I memorized this whole thing, and I now don't know if I'm gonna have the exam tomorrow or not. So I mean, it's a good thing because I'll be able to study continuously throughout the weekend, and I'll already know the information. But what if my orientation is longer than 4:30 on Monday? It's like, then what? Like, is this my fault? Do I not take the exam? Like, are you gonna accommodate me? I don't understand. Like, so I just hope it works out. I'm sure it will. So there's that. Let's back up a little. As you know, when they get you your, they offer you the job, they send you your offer letter, tell you everything in the offer letter. They set you up for, your titers and your blood draws and everything you need to do. They set you up for your background check and everything, right? So Friday, I went and did my titers, urine, blood, PPD titers, physical exam. I got fitted for that big old scary claustrophobic ass mask thing that they make you wear when you're around TB, which I don't know how. I need to literally go to a hypnotherapist and have them like make me forget that I'm claustrophobic or something, because I don't know how I'm gonna do that. Like, that freaks me out. And the only reason why I even was able to let this lady put this mask over my head when I have claustrophobia was because she gave me a paper to read. She told me to read it out loud while she did it. So I'm reading like, Mary had a little lamb with fleece as white as snow. And that was the only thing, because it distracted me from thinking I have this thing over my head and I might be suffocating, okay? That's the only part of my job that scares me the most, to be honest, because I'm claustrophobic. Like, and my claustrophobia has gotten worse as I gotten older. So I'm not afraid of elevators or anything like that, or super enclosed spaces, especially if I can see what's around me. I don't like things too close to my head. Like, makes me feel like I cannot breathe. Like, literally in this area, I freak out. I will start freaking out, okay? So I need to do some at-home therapy to get myself to not be afraid of small spaces. Because really the fear isn't of small spaces, it's the fear is not being able to breathe and get it out and it's the fear of not being able to breathe and control the fact that you can't breathe. So like, I have this thing over my head, I'm stuck in it, and now I can't like just tear it off because I have this thing over my head. Anyway, so it gives me the heebie-jeebies, okay? So I get my background check, right? Mind you guys, I've been unemployed technically for the last 3 years. Technically I've been self-employed, not unemployed, but self-employed. Unemployed meaning like I haven't worked for an official company in like over 3 years, okay? So sometimes to some people, when you don't work traditionally, they don't understand self-employment, or they don't understand like not working for someone else, and like it gets iffy with taxes and like all of that. So when I did my background check, they'd ask you your social security, your name, your full name, your age, your birthday, all of that, blah blah blah, right? So I filled out my background check on Thursday of last week. I got an email from them Friday saying, what did you do between 2016 and 2019? Because I didn't put my self-employment because I thought they wanted something like concrete. I didn't know the importance of, I guess, like why they needed to know every single job, because kind of like a resume, like you can kind of pick and choose which jobs you want to put on your resume. Like if some jobs aren't really worth putting on your resume, you can like omit it, like it's fine, like, you know what I mean? So I didn't really think, I figured anything they wanted to find they would find because they'd research me. So I kind of just gave them, like, they asked for 7 years worth of employment. They asked for list of 3 employments or the last 7 years of employment. So I gave them the last 7 years of employment. I used to work for a company called Penthouse Magazine. I used to work for a company called Brightpoint Health, and I worked for this other company near my house now, right? So I put those 3 because I started working at Penthouse Magazine in 2012, so that was 7 years ago. So I'm like, yeah, that works. So I gave it to them. So they emailed me the next day saying, hey, what have you been doing since 2016 and 2019? And I'm like, self-employment. I don't know if that's gonna count because of the kind of self-employment I've been doing. I've been doing a lot of like artistic stuff, like my YouTube channel, I make money. I've been selling hair butter, I make money. Like I've been doing different like sources of income to make money. So like, what do you want exactly? And also I've been helping doing a nonprofit for like New York State. I've been doing like a bunch of little things all in one, I guess, under the umbrella of Pierre the graphic designer. So I wasn't really sure how to like put it. So they're like, oh, just like tell us what you've been doing. Okay, fine. So I list 3 things. The company I've been doing with the state of New York, my YouTube channel, and my butter business with Etsy, right? Because technically I do get taxed on those 2 things because I make money off of them, right? So I'm thinking of taxes, like, okay, what are the things I used put on my taxes last year? Okay, so I put that. So they emailed me again telling me they want tax forms, and I'm like, to prove that I was self-employed. I'm like, whatever you need, like I'm willing to give it. I have nothing to hide. Like I'm not like a drug dealer or nothing. Like I have nothing to hide. Okay, so I gave them my tax information for my YouTube channel, tax information for my Etsy, tax information for the other job that I was doing. Okay, so and they wanted tax information for 2016, 17, and 18. I was like, y'all, okay. But I got it together, and this was all on the same day that my computer broke down. So I was beyond stressed. I had the craziest headache, and I was just like, whoa, like I don't, like trying to get everything together, trying to like ask my boyfriend if I can use his computer, asking my mom to log into my Etsy and my YouTube account to download these files, and like go log into my tax thing to like download all my like 1099s, like because I had no computer. And I was just like, oh my god. But I got it done. I sent it to them, and I the next day I got an email saying my background check's ready. I'm like, great, fantastic. I think this was Tuesday night, right? Yeah, it was Tuesday night. I get an email. So I log in, I'm going through it. Obviously, I'm not a sex offender. Obviously, I don't have any criminal records, federal, state, anywhere, nothing. Like I have a clean background. So I'm going through it or whatever. And then I get to the part where it talks about my employment, and they completely omitted the fact that I worked for Penthouse Magazine, the fact that I worked for Brightpoint Health completely. I'm like, oh, okay, like the actual companies I worked for that you can actually verify, you omitted, okay, I guess. And then they verified the state of New York's situation, but they flagged the part-time job that I had near my house earlier this year because I wrote aide on it. I wrote my job title as aide, and when they, I guess, called the job to see like my job title, they told them that I was an associate. So they put it as a discrepancy in red. Discrepancy, job title not accurate, not the same. I'm like, really? An aide, associate? Okay, then I scroll down some more, get to the part where I'm self-employed, my YouTube channel and my Etsy, right? Discrepancy. Can't prove that my 1099 is real. I'm like, that $10.99 looks real as I don't know what. Like, has like barcodes and stuff on it, like from Google. I'm confused. I don't know. I had issues, okay? I had issues with my background check due to my erratic job situation for the last 3 years. And I was stressing because I thought the job was going to fire me because of these delinquent discrepancies. I'm like, I've always, first of all, I've gotten background checks at least 5 times. I got one when I first went to college the first time at Parsons. I got one when I first started working at Penthouse Magazine. I got one when I first started working at Brightpoint Health, a health facility. And I got one when I first started working at the job, the part-time job. And it was like a FBI background check. And I've never had any issues. So I was just like, what the heck? So I was like freaking out about this. And I was like really scared that we're gonna like email me like, oh, you have these red flags. So what is this? Da, da, da. And I was gonna like, I was preparing an email the next, I was preparing an email to contact them by the next day to be like, hey, oh, let me explain these discrepancies. I don't really know why they're there. Like I was preparing my whole email, and I was talking to my friend and she was like, you know what, don't even say nothing because the email makes you seem guilty. I'm not guilty, by the way. It makes you seem guilty, and if they have any questions for you, they will contact you. Don't say anything. And I was just like, okay, you know what, I won't. My anxiety and my OCD was getting the best of me because I just wanted to call them and let them know, hey, like, I don't know what this is. I was an aide. I don't know why it says associate. It's the same thing. Hey, look, you know, obviously my Google, like, 1099 is real. I don't know why it says discrepancy. Like the anxiety and OCD in me wanted to like just get it, like clean it up basically. I was like, you know what, my inner peace was like, just relax, it's okay. If they want to know something, they will call you. So I literally like was refreshing my email like every 30 minutes to see if they were going to email me to be like, hey, what is this? They never emailed me the next day. And then the following day I did get an email from them, but it was confirmation that I have orientation next week. So I'm like, so I completely stopped worrying after that. So I was like, oh, I feel so much better. So yeah, that was my week. This is all happening in the last week. I know this is like a long story time or whatever and all of that, but that's pretty much what's been going on. I mean, next week I will be telling you my grades for what I got for the semester, and I'll be telling you about how my first week at work went. And that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.